Hello again, everyone. Matthew back with another episode of the My Favorite LJN tournament. This is round 4 and video number 2. And this would be episode 25. So, I did give the recap, well, not the recap, but the update of the next matchups. So, the first one we're going to talk about is the $1 Million Man white suit as he takes on Honky Tonk Man black suit. Both custom figures. This is one of the last remaining figures still in competition that I purchased from Wrestling Rider on eBay. Again, an absolutely amazing figure. The reason I love this so much, I think just the white suit just really pops. The white and gold is really spectacular. And I'm just crazy about the $1 Million belt. I don't know if that was because I mean this is plastic or something, so I'm wondering if this came off of like a Mattel or a Jakks Pacific figure or something like that, and it was just just long enough to barely fit around his waist, but it does close enough to the point where it sticks, and of course it's nice and firm around the waist, so again that just makes it really beautiful. Now, this Ted DiBiase did square off against 3 other versions of himself in round 1. So, I mean, he hasn't exactly had the easiest competition. And to make it all the way into round 4 with the amount of figures that I have, without actually counting them, I'd probably say it probably went over like maybe 150 or so. That might be too low or might be high. To be honest, I've never counted how many figures I had, so I'm not really sure. But, I mean, come on, 25 videos in, and we still have another 8 guys, another 8 guys to go. So that just shows you how many figures I actually had. He has to on the last remaining figure that I purchased from the Raider Nation. Again, from the Raider Nation, I got figures like the Honky Tonk Man and Coco Beware were the first ones I purchased from him. Then later on, I got Doink and not the winning Hercules, but one of the other custom Hercules. And so the Raider Nation has some really great products as well. I really loved shopping from them. And I got like an Elias Mattel retro figure from them as well. So I bought a number of figures. That Elias really helped because I helped complete my collection. No, it wasn't the last figure I purchased, but it was one of the last few, one like the last dozen or so. So, I owe a lot to the Raider Nation as far as helping me out with not only some amazing LJN figures, but also getting that last piece that I needed for my collection to be complete. I don't want to, like I said, I don't like doting too long on the figures. Again, 3 or 4 times around. There's not much I can say that I haven't said already. I absolutely love both these pieces. Again, I didn't bring the guitar with me. I just, that's an accessory. You guys seen a couple times already. From here on out, I'm just going to leave it off. And so, again, both figures, none of them are really like 3D printed or anything. So they're kind of like what you would look at or how you would see these characters, in cartoon format. I think calling them cartoony is a little unfair. I mean, this is like absolutely gorgeous work, I just can't get over the color scheme. I mean, you might think that's so simple, but it really isn't. I mean, the technique and the skill to actually be able to do the things that this artist did paint-wise is just phenomenal. I mean, even the bottom of the pants. Again, I said I wasn't going to dote too long, and I'm not. As much as I love the $1 Million Man, he was able to make it all the way to round 4. I'm finally going to have to say goodbye to Ted DiBiase. The Honky Tonk Man is continuing on to round 5. This is a fantastic piece, and the way that I've been, harping on this guy right now, just kind of talk about him, I feel like this might be the winner. I don't know. Again, as I've said many times, I really don't know who I'm gonna choose until I actually sit down and have the videos, have the characters inside, in front of the video camera. Do I finally decide who I'm gonna choose? But right now, I think Honky Tonk Man is probably the first in line, in my opinion, of someone who's gonna win. I mean, I just absolutely love the color of this character, of this particular figure. Honky Tonk Man defeats Ted DiBiase for to go to round 5. Now, this one I said I was not looking forward to, and because it's two absolutely perfect characters and two perfect figures. And the great thing about it, especially with this Mr. Perfect figure, is that he does have an absolutely perfect body slam pose. Either you pick him up with right arm or left arm, it's a fantastic pose. You could throw a good punch, you got a distance enough where you could throw a clothesline. This is a fantastic fighting figure right here. And again, with the Mr. Perfect on the boots, good color scheme. Kind of like on the series, I believe it's Series 8 Hasbro, Mr. Perfect blue suit, but he's got the yellow in the back. As opposed to, I think it was a Series 3 or Series 5. I can't remember Hasbro-wise, where he's in all yellow. But fantastic piece. This one, of course, beat the Random Treasures version of Mr. Perfect back in round 1. And that was another fantastic piece. And the fact that it was rubber and this one is resin, hard plastic. I mean, it just shows you how much I love this figure, because again, that Mr. Perfect was fantastic as well. Now I kept saying that this Warrior figure with the Hogan body type, I thought it was going to go all the way to the end. Is that a possibility? Going against Mr. Perfect in this round, it's an absolute killer to say yes or no who's going to win, because, again, we're talking about my favorite LJN, not my favorite LJNs, not my top 5, not my top 10. But the problem is, I would like to be able to look back and say, okay, Mr. Perfect was my favorite LJN. Maybe Ultimate Warrior was my second favorite. But if one of them eliminate the other, you got plenty of other, figures still in play. So I really can't sit back and say, well, Big John Studd is my second favorite figure because he made it to the last 2. But in reality, if I were to actually really strongly contemplate, who my favorite figures are, he might be number 22 for all I know. But I do have to pick one, and they both have incredible poses. Their aesthetics is phenomenal. Excellent color. These actually are both Wrestling Rider figures. This is one of the first custom figures I bought from him. And you know what? I take it back. These are both the first ones. Along with the Powers of Pain, these were all purchased simultaneously. I think I paid like $300 or something for all of them. So to me, plus I got Mr. Fuji as a kind of like a throw-in as well. So I mean, it was a fantastic buy. And I got some of my all-time favorite figures from that purchase. Phenomenal pieces. Ultimate Warrior does move on to round 5. I absolutely hate this. I think at the end of the day, they both have fantastic fighting poses, body slam poses. That has already been fully established. What set Warrior aside from Mr. Perfect, first and foremost, the rubber. Yes, I will always choose rubber over the resin. Secondly, because, he's got his legs spread apart, that makes it also, a shade better than Mr. Perfect. Of course, you really can't body slam Mr. Perfect per se because of, the closeness of his legs. where the warrior can have that perfect B body slam pose. I think if his legs were spread apart, it doesn't necessarily have to be bent the way that a Hogan or this warrior figure's legs are. But I think if his legs are spread out a little bit further apart, this may have had a, I don't want to say 60-40, 70-30, anything like that. Yeah, I would say 50-50. Who am I kidding? It was 50-50 even the ways it sits now. So I would say more of a 60-40 in his favor if he did have legs that further apart, even as a resin figure. If he was rubber, it may have jumped up to 70-30. I mean, I love this figure, but again, colors, pose, rubber, positioning of the arms and legs. To me, I just had to. There's just no way I could let Ultimate Warrior lose, not in that particular situation. But again, I just lost one of my favorite LJNs, one of my favorite customs, so not excited about that at all. This next round, or this next battle, again, a couple more purchases from my good friend Eric, Wrestling Writer on eBay. I keep mentioning it because, again, I want to be selfish and I don't want to tell other people about it because, I want all the goods for myself. But, when you enjoy the service that people provide, when you love their products and, they do right by you, you definitely want to give the opportunity to other buyers, other interested parties who might also be able to enjoy, something for their collections. If it helps get him business, perfect. I mean, like I said, the man deserves it. Definitely one of the best sellers you'll ever meet. And it's not always about about getting top dollar. It's, he has a legitimate care for the customers. That's why he kind of resonates with me because I sell on eBay too. And you know what? For me, it's not always about getting the most buck. I try to look out for my customers' well-being, and if that means taking a few dollars off so that they can save on shipping costs or something, I try and do it. And building that friendship has allowed me to acquire figures like these. Now, I've said it before, the Bruiser Brody figure, absolutely the most money I've ever spent on a single figure in my life. Purchase price was like $250. I think I paid like $270 plus with shipping and taxes. Do I regret that purchase? As far as cost goes, would I love to have that close to $300 back? Sure. But you know what? Every time I hold this figure in my hand, I would never change a thing. I mean, that was, to me, an incredible buy. If other people value this at, $300 or so, or not, irrelevant. Like I said, with my figures, the ones, my personal collection, that is, not the duplicates that I might sell later on, but the original figures that sit on my shelves, all the customs, I've said it many times, these figures are going to stay with me until the day I die. I just absolutely love them. Now, with that being said, if somebody comes and they offer me crazy money, I'm talking crazy stupid money, like, hey, we want to pay you $50,000 to purchase your entire collection, that money with what I have in savings is going to help me pay off my house. So, I mean, that's a situation where I can't say no. But, if someone came in and offered me $400 for this, $500, I'm not interested. If they came and offered me $6,000, I'm pretty sure I'd call up Eric and be like, hey, man, I got some money coming your way. Because, in that case, yeah, it's good to get profit, but, you don't want to take all the profit, especially from someone that's done so right by you. Now, back to the figures themselves. Again, this is one of the most amazing figures I purchased. And it's difficult to pick one. I seriously thought the Wrestling Rider Hercules with the chain may have ended up towards the end. Maybe like the bottom 5, bottom 6 figures when it all was said and done. He did end up going home, I think, around 3. Another phenomenal piece. Bret Hart just won his last battle, so he's still in play. Mr. Perfect and Ultimate Warrior. It was a shame that either one of those guys had to leave because, again, those are two more figures. Garvin, I think, is another one of my favorites that might end up in the bottom half. Those could very well be the last 4, 5, 6 figures in play when it all is said and done. He is going against the Texas Tornado. Kerry Von Erich. Eric. I don't know why I can't pronounce his name ever. I always call it Eric. Kerry Von Erich. The reason I keep this one in play for so long, why it's so special to me, is because the face representation on that. This isn't just like a cartoon look like some of the others, like the British Bulldog with Matilda attachment. Phenomenal figure, but again, it's got more of a cartoon face than like an actual camera picture taken of the figure. This is I would assume a 3D print of the Kerry Von Erich Texas Tornado figure, and that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, the hair, again, as far as hair on the figures, I think this one might actually be the best, because again, that looks like real human hair. I mean, that's how good this figure is. Body type is pretty decent. I don't like the pose. That's about it. Because he wears 3 different championship belts, again, an Ultimate Warrior type pose would have been preferred. Because first off, it's preferred because it's a fantastic body stand pose, but also because of all the excess championship belts. When you throw it on figures like this or the Ric Flair figure I have, it slides right off, and kind of frustrating. But this is such a phenomenal figure. I absolutely love it, and I don't even think I paid a fortune for this either. $100 if I can remember correctly, 125 maybe. Yeah, I think it was around $125 for this figure. As far as display wise, definitely worth every penny. And this is just a phenomenal piece. But you're putting 2 tremendous, not only characters, but these figures, these action figures, these statues, these work of art. I don't want to say there isn't a wrong answer, because I feel like I'm going to slap myself regardless of who I choose. This is a better representation. Bruiser Brody, phenomenal piece. He actually does have more of that cartoony face. But the chain accessory, the fighting pose, the Greg Valentine type fighting pose, the detail on the boots, and the hair isn't as great, of course, as Texas Tornado, but I like the way that's puffed out the way it is. It's gonna be Bruiser Brody. Bruiser Brody defeats Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich, and 4 rounds. This one should get all the applause in the world. Absolutely had the potential to go 5, 6 rounds even. But again, when you run into a beast like Bruiser Brody, this is such an incredible piece, and I just cannot kick him out of the competition, not yet. This, like I said, number 1, number 2, number 3, as far as my customs go. It's really hard to put a number on which one I like most, which one I find is to be the best, which one I find to be second best, and so on. Love this piece. Phenomenal. Hurts to lose Texas Tornado, but in this instance it had to be done. So originally Jimmy Garvin was going to be part of that last matchup. It was going to be a 3-man matchup with Texas Tornado and Jimmy Garvin and, of course, Bruiser Brody. And I think had Jimmy Garvin been part of that, I think Bruiser Brody still would have been victorious. as much as I love this figure, again, right there in line with Texas Tornado, Bruiser Brody, and the Ultimate Warrior Bret Hart. As far as my favorite custom figures, I don't think he would. The pose alone, I don't think he would have beaten Bruiser Brody because of that. But I mean, the color and detail, the shininess, the little glittery look on the pants. I don't know if you guys can ever see that or not, but this is just an incredible piece. Used to have like little glue pads to help the figure stand up, but I mean, he does a really good job standing up on his own, so not really necessary. Beautiful, beautiful piece. Absolutely love it. I don't want to spend too much time on this. As I mentioned, one of my figures that I could have had as part of this competition from the beginning, but because the scissors were kind of like Matilda for the British Bulldog, they were built into the hand. So the chain for Matilda and British Bulldog is built into the hand. And for this figure, Brutus, the Barber Beefcake, or the Megalomaniac, I think he was called during this time. So because the scissors were broken off, I did send it back to my seller. God was absolutely amazing. I purchased, I think, about 4 figures from him, 5 figures, and all of them were incredible. I'm trying to think what was the last one. I think that British Bulldog may have been the last one that made it as far as it did, but still. Now, this was actually a really good matchup here for the simple fact that they both, you have Brutus Beefcake and his regular pose. You got Jimmy Garvin with the Brutus Beefcake pose. Now, kind of going back to Beefcake, this one they redid, so these scissors do come out of his hand. So that's a nice little accessory as well. And I don't remember what the little candy stripe. That's actually different. His shears did originally match the rest of his outfit. I mean, but look at this. That is an absolutely gorgeous piece. Do a little 360 view of the figure. I really like aesthetically the original Brutus Beefcake, but the zebra pants Brutus Beefcake custom defeated him in round 1. This one, with the colors and of course the accessory, this one would have just annihilated him. I think if this was part of the original battle, I think this one would have taken over. This one would have defeated both the zebra pants and the original pink pants Brutus Beefcake. And I love the hair. I mean, you actually look at that. I mean, it's so simple, but it's flat, but it's so soft. It's like petting a cat. It's really awesome. And again, the Megalomaniac mask. I don't know if I knew of him as this character. I mean, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, that's all I ever knew him as, growing up. I didn't know him as a Dream Team back in the 80s, with him and Greg Valentine. Definitely didn't know him as this Megalomaniac character. I mean, Megamaniac? I don't know. I've heard the name a couple times, but I don't think I've ever seen it written down, so I don't know if I'm saying it correctly. Fantastic piece. Absolutely love it. It could have gone relatively far. Maybe round 3, possibly round 4, if he was if he was initially in competition from the get go. He wasn't. Zebra Pants was, and I think Zebra Pants Brutus lost in round 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he did, because he took on his Dream Team partner, Greg Valentine, and Greg Valentine, of course, made it all the way to round 4 before elimination. Beautiful piece, love it. He is not going to beat Jimmy Garvin, not just because he hasn't been a part of this competition the entire time, but because I just simply like the Jimmy Garvin figure better. Plain and simple. Alright, so just to see here now. In the last matchup, I'm trying to put my winners together. So we're going to have 8 winners all together. Still mad about this one. Alright, so Big John Stud is going to round 5. King Kong Bundy, round 5. Bret Hart, an unfair advantage. She took on Freddie Blassie. Loved the Blassie figure. Could have potentially made it to round 5 if he took on a few different characters. I think he may have made it past $1 Million Man, possibly. I don't know if he would have made it past Bundy, and to be honest, I don't know of any other figure really. If he would have beat any other figure, maybe Bam Bam. But he ended up taking on Bret Hart, and Bret Hart moves on to 5, and Blassie is going home. Kamala is going to be part of the competition. Honky Tonk Man, the Ultimate Warrior, Bruiser Brody, and Jimmy Garvin. So we've got our last 8 members of competition. So that's going to be final battle. So basically that's going to be the semifinals and finals. I'll mix it into one single video. That's 4 matchups. I'm not going to... Well, that's 4 matchups plus the last... Well, I might have to do 2 videos. We'll see. If it exceeds 25 minutes... I won't go all the way. Otherwise, if I can get it under 30 minutes, maybe I'll try. But otherwise, 4 matchups, that'll at least give us, 4 more guys to deal with, 2 more rounds, and then the last round. So we'll kind of mix that together. Yeah. So we're closing out. I'm not gonna stop. I am gonna stay on this computer. I am gonna make one more video at the bare minimum, and again, I'm gonna have all the videos I can try to upload it today. Alright guys, thanks again for watching. I'll see y'all soon.